Hello everybody, my name is UT Galax. Now, don't get me wrong, Season 2, I'm glad we have it, in a way. But I am gonna point out every fucking flaw! I'm sorry, I am genuinely angry right now. Yeah, we have Saturn, or Frisk, whatever you want to call them, and Evan. Sorry if my anger takes over very easily. It's just that it just shows a lot with me because I want to talk about all of what happened. So I don't know if anybody else felt it, but I felt a lot of the scripted scenes. Pain. So, in my opinion right now, Season 2 was better. Season 1 was genuinely better. Hot take. Genuinely, I felt more back in Season 1. Oh, God. Shadow, what are you doing? God damn it.
Sorry, I'm in my kitchen. I was eating pizza earlier. I'm cleaning the plate.
Yeah, no.
Let me turn off my mic for a second.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, anyways. In Season 1, I felt more raw emotions. Because this is what we did. We built on top of the lore. Once we built off of that, like what happened, we keep building to make a story and an arc that's better and better. But now, everything felt so scripted. Let's see. Frisk, how about you tell them about the balcony scene? Frisk? Frisk. I said, did you fall asleep?
No, I zoned out.
Okay, do you want to tell them about the balcony scene?
Alright. So I get a message on Discord. Like, I gotta check my phone because obviously I'm waiting for the next time I'm actually in. And I'm like, oh, who DM'd me? I look and I see that it was things. Just like, oh, want me to just, okay, I can try. That's kind of how we did the balcony scene.
Well, yes, I had
I
no.
wasn't too invested in it.
Yeah, and honestly, I had no idea it was actually scripted at that moment. Because, well, yes, the balcony was random. In my head, I thought, meh. But I should have known better. Oh my god. I'm sorry if I sound mad,
I
but
get
I am.
ideas come up here and there, and you want to do them, and it'd be a quick and easy way, but like,
Bro,
it happen naturally,
now,
and in a place that's less laggy for me, please.
yeah, and also, now, we do have someone that is different than me and Frisk. Evan, in the call. Because Evan more likes to have everything planned out. So, again, we can have a counter argument with the complaints. Anyways, another thing I've noticed in the thing, I could feel the scripts. Like, in certain moments, believe it or not, in that massive fight scene, I had to pull a lot of fucking bullshit cards. VR should not have been able to stay in as long as they did. In all honesty, I wish everybody could have joined in. But it clearly wasn't planned or scripted that way. Evan, any comments about the fight scene in the Judgment Hall?
I mean, I wasn't really doing anything much there since at that moment I was like thinking on like should I like do something? Or I'm like I didn't really have anything I didn't really think of anything, so I'm like I don't know. So that's why like if anyone's also saying like if you look in the background and you just see like a totally different me of something else is because I was, as I would call it, non-lore mode. So I was just watching what was happening, and yeah, since as with the but yeah.
And this is where I'm getting at. Believe it or not, I noticed some characters could do jack jiddly shit. I've changed since my season 1 self. Yes, my season 1 self had, as Dusk pointed out to me, a main character complex.
Main character syndrome.
And I admit, I did. Looking back, I very much did. But do you know what? I'm trying to at least not have that. Believe it or not, no, I wasn't going to be everything. No. I wanted everybody to be involved. I'm not bullshitting. Believe it or not, I wanted everybody to have their moment. And that's the problem. We didn't see if it felt like I was having that thing again. It was because it was forced to be. Oh boy, I hate that. You know what I'm talking about, right? Guys, did you see me try to transition away from main character syndrome?
Yeah.
Uh, I think so.
Okay, you're laggy now, but I tried. I really did. But, one thing. And it just, who was the only people that could genuinely do anything? It was only Dust and me. After Evan fought, who was it again?
It was what was it? It was can't remember the Outer Sands, but it was like the one with the blood on it.
Miller?
No.
It's like when we were in Waterfall, and it was like that Outer Sands
Like,
that
did
had
they
like the
have?
blood on it.
we
It
were
was like a
fighting
crazy
Dust
one.
during
Was that Insanity or horror? Okay, did they
It
hold?
was Insanity.
Insanity.
Okay, I know you
It was
actually
like
fought them.
it was like where Evan and like Clover were like both like fighting Insanity.
I'm gonna guess you actually had a fight scene. I am genuinely
We
guessing.
did. So pretty much uh we did end up winning, but yeah, they didn't die. Insanity didn't die. They like kind of like disappeared, like or they like teleported like somewhere else. Like
And
after that
gave
happened.
But
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Like
I'm And
what was it like? I remember Clover was like, we can't just like we can't just like let. Or I'm trying to remember what, but then after while we like were talking, that's when like Insanity pretty much just like disappeared, like while that was happening.
yeah, I and that's the thing. I am actually happy they had that moment. I am happy they got something in. But something tells me now with that new info, something had to go on behind the scenes telling them it's time to move on. You get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, hold on, let me change my audio. There we go.
Believe it or not, I I feel like season 1 had more impact. Um I'm going to bring up one thing I remember so like this is engraved. Okay? So it was Counter trying to figure out who to give the vial to, and he so ex Gaster couldn't get 100%, and Fresh was in that scene, and you were like, okay, am I predictable? Yes, I am. And then they went like, Fresh, how unpredictable are you? Oh my God, this is the and Fresh, believe it or not, was the player. It was the person playing ex-Gaster.
Who was the person that played them again?
Sam. And Sam
Oh, okay.
flat out broke character and said, "Holy shit, you just like something along the lines of holy shit, you just changed the course of the arc."
I think I do remember him saying that actually.
Point being, I missed, and yes, it's my fault. I'm gonna not pull my punches there, but I'm not gonna blame people. But
Pointing fingers.
Frisk, just let's. The reason season 2 happened: 1, we needed a fresh slate. 2, old friend group gone, so we had to completely try to get a new group. But season 2 is lacking those pure raw emotions, and it feels like our actions don't matter. Now, don't get me wrong. Season 2 is still going to continue. We're going to fix a lot of shit.
I was yeah. I'm not sure if like with him, but like we're probably just how you have to change things.
Oh, I am making sure to. Because
That's the fact that they literally made Frisk. They threw Frisk into a wheelchair.
oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, since if you guys don't know, pretty much at the end of pretty much the thing, pretty much Frisk like only had like
Half a soul.
Yeah.
like they just can't really do anything at that point, and like we just don't really know where to go like after that point.
And when they
I didn't know what to do.
and the reason I pointed out on the kindness soul being Gabe is from season 1. Again, I'm trying to connect them, but very loosely. Because dead ass, I had a whole fucking comic planned. I just realized I put too many voices in. So I could not do it. kill me. Yeah. But, let's see. Let's go further beyond that. Oh, right, here's a great thing to mention. I'm mad about many things. One of them having to be when I could feel the script. And then there's also the crippledness of all characters. Now, I get VHS is supposed to be the big bad. But in all honesty, I don't think it's VHS that's the big bad. It's honestly how it's planned. Let me explain. Things are very they honestly, I thought I wouldn't have to retcon. But clearly I fucking do. Because undernet is where Counter lives in the his lab was the first thing restored to his ultraverse. I just had to go with the bullshit.
Oh, what can we do? Absolutely.
Yeah, honestly, at that moment, I had to roll with the bullshit. I hate it. I genuinely hate it. And believe it or not, in the Tumblr, I actually wrote down, I made Encounter's journal that VR was going to be the main focus of episode 1, only so Counter could collect data about the new timeline. Clearly that's more fucked than I thought. Now I realize this. He likes to likes to script too heavily. While me, I'm a guy that needs to just roll with the flow. Like, go off a basic idea, right? And then, once that basic idea is placed and goes on, we build off of it.
Exactly. Called improv using like, a baseline.
Thank you! God! But, there's also this. You know the Judgment Hall fight scene? Again, in all actuality, VR should have only been able to last 1 minute. At max. But I had to bullshit my power. I think Dusk actually covered this last time as power creep. It made me angry. It genuinely did. Right?
Yeah.
So, quick question, Evan.
Yeah.
What did you actually feel throughout the entire RP session?
I guess I was just trying to see what, I could do and, just, like, see where, like, how Evan would get involved and how, like, just explaining, like, just, and I guess just whenever something happens, I guess I would just add on, like, with it.
But let me guess, you didn't get the moment.
I feel like there's only one time that I did actually probably 2 times. Obviously, the first time was when obviously the battle between um Evan and Clover versus Insanity, and the other time is I guess when the cloaked like Gaster like explained like how he knows where he's from, but I'm like, even though my thing's not done yet, I kind of wanted to try to explain that like he doesn't really like have that because like
Yeah, I
even though it's entirely possible that maybe he does. I mean, obviously he probably does have his own like thing like somewhere out there, but it's like yeah, he's obviously not from this whole thing. So that's why I tried to explain it. Even I'll say this one thing where obviously I don't know if people watching this will also watch whenever like my actual like series would come out, but his coding is pretty much just like glitched. So it's like yeah, he's not from here. So it's like
trust
yeah.
me, I'll promote the shit out of it. But
I could try, but it's like I don't know exactly when it would release. I hopefully at some point because it's something I want to make. But
oh,
obviously I have to like pay for like artist, but that'll
mate,
be whenever I guess.
don't worry. If anything, I'm willing to help as much as I can, and help. Once you start the thing, I will promote the fuck out of it. But in all seriousness,
I was
now
almost thinking on like maybe like this whole thing could like take place like after what I was making, but I'll probably just make it entirely different. It's an entirely different like story. So it's
basically different continuity.
did to this whole thing, but let's just say it's a different like thing. So yeah, different continuity. This is a different Evan, and not the Evan in Broken Timeline, Broken World.
Yeah, I figured that would be the best way, because I I I've done my own spin-offs. Yada to say. But there is one thing I hate. And believe it or not, when I know Snowden's empty all the damn time, it's because we don't play with all those crowded people, so we don't have the N word or anything stupid happen.
Any slurs, anything bad. And have it
That's
get
pretty much
taken
why almost
out.
entirely most of the time we would just like when we would do like in a world it's just a private world, so like just if it was a public obviously like there are some people that want just want to make things bad because they think it's funny.
That's why we get a crew, but when they played the Slow Down Snowden, I very recognized that, and I meant like, why is it a genocide route? When the reveal of VHS, I was like, what the fuck? Because I remember the earlier planning was not this. And I got to thinking. Things. I'm sorry to say this. VHS is you. Let me explain my thinking. So, as everybody knows about Empire, Empire was actually my way to cope with the lack of control of my life. And yeah, what do I think VHS actually represents? Things want to control every little aspect of the RP. Yeah. Yeah, that's a genuine thought.
Or at least that kind of, which is the main piece.
Yeah, like, he wants the arc to go the way that he wants. He doesn't want it to change at all.
Yes.
That's kind of where it hurts. Remember how I said, remember, if you don't remember in the waterfall scene, well, in one of the waterfall scenes, VR recognized an artificial reality realm. Again, connected to, as you see in the end, that portal, which is literally all where everything exists. Fun fact, if Counter or VR went through it, they would be able to see Godly Realm again. I'm gonna make a comic now, fuck you. Yeah, genuinely. I was expecting it to be not so much, oh hey, we need to fix everything already. Season 1, live stream 1, we need to fix this whole fucking reality. Bro, what the fuck did they do?
We already 2 episodes in. Shit.
And also, remember when they pulled out the screen with breaking the judgment hall?
Mm-hmm.
Notice how nothing happened? I don't know if that was...
Yeah.
It's probably because I didn't let it happen, or they never wanted it to happen. I don't know which. But if it was my end, it's because it's very well explained that I didn't want season 2 to be like it, and I wanted to fix it. I think I actually put more of my character into that by accident. Yes, believe it or not, my character represents... Well, my characters can show off some of my own feelings. Again, they all have a character trait of mine. And yes, I know I'm classic, but I don't have a gate Fujitech that's available to show this anger. But this is the underlining issue. He took so much away. For what? Am I wrong here? Like, Evan admitted he only felt important in 2 scenes out of that entire live stream. And that's the issue. I want everyone to feel important. Every action actually matters. How do you feel about that, Evan? Like, I don't know if you feel the same way.
Like, yeah, I would agree that I feel like pretty much every character should at least have an important role in somewhat in the lore, so that, like, it's not like, so it wouldn't be like they're just like left in the dust and like they're just like not important.
And actually, believe it or not, that's semi why I put the reason. If Frisk were to kill VR, like any Frisk, that would cause his quote-unquote permadeath, but he later found out it was limbo. Again, VR has always been shown as he interprets things incorrectly. maybe that might be one of my short-sightedness of misinterpreting things, but not to that degree. But again, what they said is right. We need the reality we deserved back. Is this the reality that they deserve? After they fought through so much in the original? Okay. In the original series, they fought tooth and nail to keep their home safe. And what happens now? Everything looks fucked. Everything's fucked up. And I'm keeping sure where it all exists, where the core of the where the Ultraverse isn't available to be destroyed, unless if I actually have to now, just to start over again. I will do it. I will fucking do it. I'm able to
Season 3 real quick.
more like the real season 2. Because believe it or not, well, I might not be the planner. Really. I've been waiting for season 2 for ages. I thought the conflicts were ready. Like, were over. I thought this is finally the time. It clearly wasn't. That's what makes me mad. I wanted season 2 to be important. But it doesn't feel like it right now. Because what can our characters really do? Hell, I might call, okay, or I can call the bullshit of finding the hub of where VHS fucking does everything and how he spreads his influence because he's a virus and make them destroy it. I might call those bullshit cards. That's how angry I am.
Like, if we can't find a good villain, I might as well just be like, oh yeah, no, this. I'm making one of my own.
Yeah.
Because at least I have a sense of control.
Yeah, genuinely. I'm gonna bring it up again. DNA, which was a Betty, which actually left a permanent mark in the season 1 lore, was a great fucking villain. Hell, there's a reason Counter hates Betty so much. Their first encounter with a Betty was DNA. And guess what? That left a permanent scar. Mentally and physically. And also, wait, hold on. They took hate from VR. That's something that they shouldn't be able to do. I'm gonna retcon the fuck out of that now. Run them.
Our characters?
I can't fucking no. Hold on. Run them hands things. I'm retconning the fuck out of that. Now.
Like, I get it. You don't have that feeling of control over your own life. But come on. At least have some common sense.
hate is an ability that they can control. Like, well, yes, it mainly shows when their emotions are boiling up too much. It shows something other than them screaming at the top of their lungs. Wow, surprise. You just take away hate. Skedaddle skedoodle. I come in to wreck on your noodle. I'm bringing back their hate. VR Encounter deserve their hate. There's no real reason to delete them from hate.
Remove their hate permanently.
Yeah, actually. And now let me bring up some counterpoints with Classic. Yes, you're right. Classic doesn't have the ability of hate. But guess what? That's perfectly justified. Yes, it's justified. How do you like that? How do you feel? Bitch? Yeah. His hate removal is actually more justified. Do you want me to explain why? Who wants me to explain why? Classic's removal of hate. Okay. So, in that RP session, I already had the idea Classic needed that true awakening. Which it did happen. But there was one thing. In that session, it was stated, I'm holding, the hate is holding you back. And that's part of me that's helping you control it. Now, let it get removed. And Classic went along with it, knowing that he was being held back by his hate. He full on let it. And yes, Classic let the hate be removed. Did we script it? No. I know Essence had that baseline idea. But it was up to Classic to agree or disagree. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Classic agreed. Not having the ability of hate is actually justified there because it was Classic's decision. Not, oh hey, we're yoinking this ability away. Actually, how I felt with determination bringing time to a halt. I'm gonna bring that up for a second, but yeah, no. This is even more bullshit. In determination bring time to a halt, it had some validation, not much. Basically, people weren't listening. But, hey! That was fine. It somewhat justifies it, but not fully. And if you haven't noticed, my mind would have I would have actually used hate more to keep, and that would have made a lot more sense. Believe it or not, that would have made a lot more sense than keeping VR in the fight using God form. Because hate helps him heal. Yeah. Well, Classic did not have that. Well, Classic would not have hate. He would have other ways to fight. There's a difference this time. VR being drastically weakened. And Classic, which is far stronger. Classic can maneuver faster. Classic can is a more experienced fighter. So that makes up for these things. His abilities aren't being stripped from him force by force. They're happening more naturally. That's one thing I did want to bring up. Anybody have any other things that they have concern about or want to mention?
I mean, already met,
I
just being thrown into a wheelchair, quite literally.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit.
Also, Shadow, you can tell you can talk about how you can tell. Well, you can't roll with the flow more naturally.
So it's kind of like where I'm more used to like I scripted things sometimes since I would write things, but I would sometimes be able to go with the flow sometimes, but yeah, most of the time I would more get into like scripted things, but that's just me.
Yes, and I might help Evan. I'm gonna be honest, Evan. If anything, I'm willing to help more about letting you get more into the flow of things, but you also knowing how to script. Because that way you can do both, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yes, getting a baseline idea or having one scene planned out in a way. Well, having one scene having one forced action. Like, I don't know. In the old RP, there was some scenes that I was not aware of gonna happen, but hey, they actually left their mark. Hence why hence why I've felt the forced scenes and I did not like them. Like, let's see. Right. One of the forced scenes I felt was very well that Judgment Hall fight. I thought maybe they'll regain even a fraction of their reality. It was set up for loss, a lose. And I could tell from everything. Player was everything. Player and Dust were supposed to be everything, while VR and Frisk were nothing. I get VR's weaker, but at least they should have been able to help out in some way. But that's and since Evan wasn't involved, but I'm guessing Evan didn't know what to do in the moment. You could not help out with a fight because you felt outpowered, I'm guessing.
Or I just they're also just the reason I just didn't do anything is because like I just I guess I actually could have done something, but I don't know. I guess at that moment, I'm like, I guess I'll just see what happens with it.
You had no idea what to do, because let's break this down a little. VHS, the most overpowered bitch of all times. Yeah, I'll say it. I think this is the most broken villain that's ever came across in all lores. I'm saying it now. Okay? I'm sorry. Let's see. One that's, like, controlling the whole Ultraverse. One that can just do anything. Doesn't that feel a little broken?
Broken and bullshit, yeah.
I'm sorry I'm saying this, but... what the fuck? I'm gonna say this. Sam did X-Gaster so much better. Yeah, X-Gaster wasn't able to do everything because of that missing half, sure. But, hey, at least they put some limitations on them. Not make everything irrelevant.
And but they're gonna be the main villain excuse? Bullshit.
Now that I think about it, yeah. I didn't think about it too heavily until now. I'm more in the moment guy anyways. Sam, oh god, I just remembered a scene. I don't know, I think they might have planned this scene out, but it might not. It might have been this. They have to choose one or the other. And it was up to Reese to decide. I'm not going to talk. But I remember this. Thanks to the anger of X-Guys. I was going to...
But I'm about to say, I do remember what scene you're talking about. I already imagined it in my head.
Okay, so they started breaking Nightmare. And they broke Nightmare's skull to pieces. That broke a lot of characters there. Yeah, like mentally. And
I honestly have no clue what you're talking
oh fucking hell.
I don't think you were there. I don't think you were there at that
about.
moment.
I don't think I was.
Yeah, to explain.
Yeah.
Shadow knows about this. Shadow, you know what I was talking about, though. That's the fortunate thing. But how did everybody else react is so much different. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's just... And also, the scene before, I remember that.
I remember a bunch of stuff that was there since... I think that was like last year.
Oh, I remember...
Oh, no wonder.
I remember Counter just pointing out a bunch of factors about how this shouldn't be how family works. And,
Yeah, I
that one was fucking hilarious! And that broke Sam out of character. Like, damn it, guys! Don't...
It's like we were trying to like get the scene done, and then like some other people had to go, so it's like we had to like get it done real quick before like we would finish.
Yeah, and the funny part was, we legit. I was legit just in character pointing everything out by accident. It was funny by me, but it was just so funny in the moment. And yes, well, I did have to close my mouth just to point thing, so I didn't have to point everything out. It was a genuine moment. But season 2, the first episode, there was no laughs, there was no giggles, there was the lack of emotions. The only thing I felt was, oh dear God, kill me, a lot, when I was doing the waterfall puzzle. Fucking end me with that one. Yes, I was genuinely struggling because of controller drift.
Controller drift is a pain.
Yeah, that's why it took me, and also figuring out the most optimal route. Blah blah blah. You get the moment. But during the other moments, I felt mild anger and mild emotions, but none of them felt any happiness. Is that weird? Is that weird? Or is it just because everything was... No, there was nothing. All it felt like was the main focus was VHS. And yeah, yeah. Oh God, they had main character syndrome, not me for once. But boy. Actually, if anybody's noticed in the Sonic RP, I've actually kind of drifted away. Haven't I?
Sometimes, yeah, actually.
Actually, the only reason Cybersonic went into his, like, the one beyond Supersonic 2, whatever, I don't like the name, was because it was needed. And he was fighting along with Metallics. And so it was not really... I wasn't having main character syndrome, was I? So, and I actually put a repercussion on him doing that. Yeah. I was, believe it or not, I was actually thinking, oh God, but wait, there's more. I honestly thought that. But if you didn't notice, but there wasn't, so my crippled state was for nothing. But now do you see my whole reasoning? There's just, if I have to scrap season 2 and just move on to season 3, that's disappointing. I'm making this whole rant to everyone.
I don't really think you need to like scrap it entirely. Maybe you could just like,
If
you have to, just get rid of the other two like streams and then just start over again.
No, if anything, I'm hoping we fix everything so I don't have to start over. I'm hoping
Because I
that
just don't. I just don't think you need to like scrap the whole season entirely. I just think you should probably just do like just a rework.
if anything, um, if anything, unless if I can find a way to fix the season before the next live stream, prepare for a new season 2, and I'll put the last live streams as scrapped. Only reason I'm not taking them down, generally, if anybody wants to watch the original, have fun. But, anyways, that's the end of this recording. Jesus Christ, I've been on this for 55 minutes.